My stepmother told everyone my terminal cancer was fake for attention, minus so I scheduled my memorial service on her birthday. I was diagnosed with stage of pancreatic cancer on a Tuesday morning. By Thursday, my stepmother Helen was telling family members I was faking it for sympathy. She's always been dramatic, she texted my cousin. First the depression in high school, then the anxiety in college. Now cancer, please. She just can't stand that her father and I are planning a cruise next month. I discovered these messages accidentally while using her iPad to order groceries during a family dinner, part she'd forgotten to disable her text notifications on the device. As I scrolled through the conversation history, my hands shaking, I found dozens of messages to various family members dismissing my diagnosis as another cry for attention. My father has been married to Helen for 15 years. She entered my life when I was 12, shortly after my mother died from breast cancer. From the beginning, Helen treated my grief as an inconvenience, my memories of my mother as personal attacks. Any illness I experienced was exaggerated or manipulative. When my oncologist confirmed I had 6 to 12 months to live, my father wept while Helen patted his shoulder and asked about treatment costs. That night, while I processed the news that I was dying at 27, she complained about having to rearrange their vacation plans. Now staring at her texts, claiming my cancer was fake, something inside me shifted. I wouldn't spend my final months seeking her approval or defending my reality. The next morning, I made 3 decisions. First, I scheduled an appointment with my father's financial advisor to ensure my father's assets were protected from Helen after my death. My mother's family had money and I'd received a trust when I turned 25. I updated my will to exclude Helen from my funeral and created a separate fund for my father's care. Second, I decided to live my remaining time authentically. I quit my stressful job, booked a trip to Japan I'd always dreamed of taking, and moved into a peaceful apartment near the ocean. Third part, and this is where people say I went too far. Karen and I scheduled my memorial service for Helen's birthday. It wasn't difficult. Helen celebrates her birthday extravagantly every year, treating it as a month-long festival of attention. I simply contacted the funeral home, explained my situation, and arranged for my service to be held at the exact time she'd booked her annual birthday luncheon at her favorite restaurant. When my father received the funeral pre-planning documents, he was confused. "Honey, this date, it's Helen's birthday." "I know," I replied calmly. Since she thinks my cancer is fake, I figured she wouldn't mind sharing the day. After all, if I am making it up, she won't need to attend. His face fell. "What are you talking about?" I showed him the texts, all of them enguined, the ones where she complained about wasting money on my treatments. Within a week, he filed for divorce. Helen called me screaming, accusing me of manipulating my father and destroying her marriage. "I hope you are happy," she spat. "You've finally gotten what you wanted." "What I wanted," I replied, "was to not have cancer. What I wanted was a stepmother who believed me when I was sick. What I wanted was a father who didn't need to see text messages to choose his dying daughter over someone who thought she was lying." That was 3 months ago. I am weaker now, but strangely more at peace. My father has been by my side for every treatment, every bad day. He's selling their house, parent too many memories, he says. Helen still tells people I am faking, even as my hair falls out and my clothes hang off my shrinking frame. Last week, she demanded my father change the memorial service date. He refused. "Some birthdays you remember," he told her, "and some you wish you could forget. This one you'll never forget. Perntat, it's the day you lost everything that mattered because you couldn't believe in someone who needed you." I don't know if I'll make it to that memorial service some days. I hope I do, part just to see the empty chair where Helen would have sat if she'd been capable of an ounce of compassion. They say living well is the best revenge. When you are dying, though, living authentically is the only revenge you've got left.